Hey, it's Garrett,
It's Andrea.
and welcome to the Daily Devotional.
Yeah.
You know me, and you know that I am a firm believer that anybody can do anything. I believe I can do anything if I either work on it enough, if I practice it enough. Just it's like a mindset thing. I can do anything. But I've also learned, especially lately in the last year, for sure, that there are things that I really cannot do. One of those things, I've never been able to draw or do anything like that. But when it came to working construction, I realized I'm not going to be the guy that's on the roof. That's not going to be me. And I don't know, we had a storm come through and we were going to get some insurance money for the roof, and I was thinking, I've been doing the construction thing for a little bit. I can do the roof myself and just do it in sections and use a tarp, and I was thinking through it in my mind, and it would save us some money and all of that. Like, just completely factoring out the fact that I am 100% scared of heights, that I don't do a good job on a ladder, and our roof on our house, it's really not that steep.
No, we live in a ranch.
We live on a ranch house. It's not that steep like what a roofer would say steep, but to me it's pretty steep. Like, it's not flat, so it's steep.
Your knees were knocking.
Yes. Yeah, because I had to get up on the roof and do some painting and to paint our chimney, or lime wash our chimney. And I'm up there and my knees...
You couldn't make it to the other side.
I couldn't make it to the other side. My knees were shaking. I'm like, what is this? And, I thought, well, if I'm up here long enough, I'll get over it. And I just didn't get over it.
It's okay.
And I even had to go up there later that afternoon, and I still wasn't over it. It was a little bit better. But I just realized, okay, if I can't do this, there is no way that I'm putting a roof on our house by wintertime at that point, which was several months away.
We would have a roof of tarps.
Yeah, we would still have a roof of... I don't even know if we would have got that far. I would have been like attaching a ball to a rope and throwing the tarps over just to avoid getting on the roof. Like 100%, I would have been doing that. And I've just realized there are plenty of things that I'm not able to do, even though I feel like I can do anything.
But
so
you've gained wisdom. A lady asked you the other day if you could power wash your roof, and you've very, like, with the quickness, very fast.
I said no, I don't do that.
Yeah.
And maybe a year ago I've been like, sure, I would have been up there freaking out.
The place I lack in skill would, I can paint and I can draw. We had a event at the church where we were raising money for a couple places, not-for-profits in our community, and we had like a bounce house, a dunk tank, and I thought, you know what, the kids would really like face painting, so I could take my skill and my love of painting and drawing, and I could put it together and slap it on a face, right? I thought, I can do this, not knowing that you have to, like, you can't just go to Walmart and buy face paint, right? Not the little tubes of face paint. That's not good stuff. First of all, it cracks. Okay. And second of all, you got to get like the nice smooth stuff with the sponges. It's a whole thing. And I just don't have talent to paint on a face. I learned this very fast when children would come in with their beautiful faces and leave with horrifying faces. One kid wanted a smiley face. He said, paint my entire face like a smiley face. I said, I can do that.
You know what? You sure did it.
I painted the scariest smiley face known to man, and I thought if I just make the eye holes bigger and bigger, it'll be sweeter. And it got scarier and scarier because it didn't take into consideration when his eyes open. The whites of his eyes show, and when his smile smiles, his teeth show, and the red shows in his mouth. It was the scariest thing. And then by the end of the day, he was sweating, and the sweat had made the black run onto the yellow. He was the scariest smiley face I had ever seen. I was doing such a bad job that a lady in the church had to come and help me, and I learned. And we've never done face painting since in the church.
I don't think we have.
No.
And what's funny about that is like it wasn't like a smiley face on the cheek, like you did like a full face.
Full face. I'm like, if we're gonna like go big or go home, like if we're gonna do it, let's do it.
Yeah. You know, something that's kind of frustrating to me, just really, is sometimes like I don't feel like in life or in ministry or whatever, you know, you look at other people and see everything that they have, or they might be super talented at something, and you look at what you have yourself and you're just not able to do it. I mean, we're joking about the roof thing, but that really was a frustration to me, because there are plenty of men and women out there that are able to do things that I just can't do. And there are people that have no fear of heights and the roof. You know, my good friend is like that. He you know, he has no fear of ladders and heights and roofs, and just able to do it. And I tried to work with him with stuff, and I just can't do it. And it's one of those frustrating things to where I look at my own hands and say, I don't have enough, you know, because I can't do everything. And I think maybe that's something that we need to look at as people and realize, what has God given us that we're able to do, instead of just what we can't do. And that's something for me that I really need to work on.
I think that was the coolest thing. Even the face paint thing was so funny. But somebody in the church said, okay, she's struggling.
Yeah.
Let me help her out, because I've done this. I can do this. And it was something simple, but it really was taking a talent that they had and that they had experience in, and said, hey, I'm going to help you out. And we have like the sweetest picture together, this person and I do, of her helping me. She doesn't know how much that picture really does mean to me, because I was kind of panicking on the inside. And she came in and she helped me. And I think that's like Matthew 25. This is where it talks about using our talents that God has given us. And we can't look at our talents and say, hey, this is too small, because there's nothing that's too small, too little, you know?
Yeah. And you know what, love, you're really good at a lot of things. And there are things that you're just able to do. If it comes to writing a story, our marriage retreat this last week, you wrote the entire story for the mystery for an entire weekend. What you did in the matter of a couple days would have taken me like a year, you know, to put on paper and to think out all the details of the story. And God's just really given you that ability to do things like that, and just so many other things. And we do focus on too much on the things that we can't do. And there's so many things that God's given us the ability to do. And you're right, it's like the lady that was able just to come in and help with the face paint. It was not a problem to her. It was easy for her. And we might take for granted the things that are easy for us to do. And like this parable, just bury those things, and just afraid to step out and do the things that God's given us the ability to do, because we think that they're too ordinary. When in fact, there's things that God's given us to do that can really be extraordinary for Him, that other people aren't able to do. And I think God's done that on purpose.
We have all these excuses of why we can't do something. And it returns as a hatred towards the master, saying, well, it wasn't good enough, or I just this, or I just that. But here's the thing. We can excuse ourselves to death of why we can't do something for the Lord. It's not for the church. It's for God. Why we can't do something for God.
Yeah.
And if we do that, it's really, in the end, going to hurt ourselves. God gave us something that we can use and we can grow in. And actually, I'll be honest with you, when you do something for God, it blesses you too. And in this, like, you can see it bless the servants as well, to be able to do something for their master. And we have to realize that in this part of Scripture, when God blesses you with a gift, with a talent, it's for Him. But He's so kind, He's so loving that it also blesses you as well.
Yeah, so I shouldn't be so frustrated if God has not given me the ability to be a roofer or to be up on heights. You know, that shouldn't be a frustration that I have, but realizing there's so many other things that God's given me and you and others to be able to do. and really embracing that and making the most of it.